These are the top 5 meme coins that I'm buying or have already bought for this bull run. Pretty much all these coins have absolutely zero fundamentals, and there's completely no reason to buy these coins other than they are memes and we are buying them for the culture. But let me tell you something. People love memes. People love money. Memes, money, meme coin. Let's check them out and see what kind of numbers these could possibly do in this year or next year. Okay, these are the biggest meme coins on the market right now. Obviously, the leader is Doge, followed by Shiba Inu, and then there is a bunch of other smaller coins that you can see. There's a lot of stuff. There's Jesus Coin, there's Punkay, which is a derivative of a derivative of derivative, Doge Killer, there's all kinds of stuff. Turbo, Smog, AI Doge, all kinds of crap. But really, let's look at the ones that matter most. The first one is Pepe. And you can see right here, I actually have $12,000 of Pepe, so you can see exactly how much I own of each of these coins, so you know that my money is where my mouth is. Pepe is going to be one of the top coins this cycle. I feel very strongly about that. The only thing that I do not like about Pepe is that it's on Ethereum. And usually that's a great thing that it's on Ethereum because everything's on Ethereum. But in this case, when trading meme coins and because of how expensive Ethereum is to trade on, I worry that the barrier to entry for buying Pepe, at least at the moment, if you're in the US, you can see down here, these are the places we can buy it. We can't buy on Binance if we're in the US, so it's most likely that we're gonna have to go over to Uniswap and swap, whether it's wrapped ETH or USDC or another coin, into Pepe, and let me tell you, the gas fees for that are not cheap. Just as an example, if we wanted to swap 1 Ethereum into Pepe, we can see that we'd lose about $11 just on the slippage, basically the swapping fee differential there. We'd lose about $11, and then we'd also have about $23 of network costs. In other words, the transaction fee to transact on Ethereum is about $23, and that's when gas is low. It's only at 40 Gwei right now, which is relatively low compared to where it will be over the course of the next year, and on a day-to-day basis, this can get up to 100 pretty easily. So $23 plus the $11 difference, we're looking at a $30 to $35 exchange rate just to buy Pepe. And this right here is the main and only thing I don't like about Pepe is that it's going to cost more to transact. So someone who's new that doesn't really know crypto that well or doesn't really care about all this stuff too much might not want to pay $35. I certainly don't want to pay $35 just to buy a meme coin. I might just want to throw $100 at it just to see what happens, just to have fun and partake in it. But if I have to pay $35 just to do that, I'm probably gonna be like, no, that's not worth it. $35 just to do one transaction is crazy. And then if I want to go swap it back, guess what? It's going to cost me more gas again. So we're looking at least $50, we'll say, at any given moment just to buy and sell Pepe. However, there are some bullish factors that we have not discussed yet, and there's a reason why I have $12,000 and it is my most owned meme coin. Even though I've just bashed it for not having the ability to buy easily, what it does have going for it is you can see here, it is not listed on Coinbase yet. And as you may know, or maybe you don't, when things get listed on Coinbase, this is what happens. We'll show you a little teaser for the next coin we're gonna have. This pump right here, yeah, that's what happens when it gets listed on Coinbase. The Coinbase effect is real. Basically, anytime a new coin gets listed on Coinbase, which is the biggest exchange in the world besides Binance, obviously, but for US folks, it's by far the biggest, the coin's gonna go nuclear. It's just going to happen. And all of this action we've had so far, you can see right here, this first major pump, I actually put a video out. I'll link it right up here right now. Go watch that one if you haven't. I called this right before it happened. This is when Binance listed Pepe. And you can see when Binance, one of the biggest exchanges, listed it, look what happens. This price action goes absolutely astronomical. Well, this pump has to do nothing with an exchange. There is no exchange pump happening here. This is called the bull market opening. This is where things start to get a little bit crazy. But what we have to look forward to still is that Coinbase will list Pepe at some point. I'm pretty confident about it. There's no guarantees, obviously, but because this coin is almost a top 50 coin now by market cap, and it's had a pretty long lifespan for a meme coin, that's for sure. It's likely that Coinbase will list it at some point, and when that happens, I expect to see something similar to this based on wherever we're at that point. So that is a huge catalyst that we can look forward to that could pump Pepe even more. But the other reason I like it is because we are so small still. Yes, it is almost a top 50 coin, but look at the market cap right here. $1.7 billion. That's a lot of money, don't get me wrong. But look at Doge's market cap, 20 billion. Shiba's market cap, 12 billion. Let's just make numbers easy and say that this is a $2 billion market cap. To get to Shiba's market cap right now would be 6x from here. To get to Doge's would be 10x from here. And we are still not at the peak of the bull market by any means. These were at 88 billion, 44 billion at the peak of last cycle. So this cycle, if these get to the all-time high again, and this just does a fourth of that, a third of that, half of that, we're looking at anywhere from a 10 to 20x on Pepe from right now. Those are numbers I like to see. I think it's totally within range that Pepe could get to where Doge and Shiba are right now, market cap wise. And if it just did that, we're looking at, again, a 10x from right here. It's a little more than a 10x actually. I imagine Doge and Shiba will also do really well this cycle, but the reason I don't like them as much is because to go from a $20 billion market cap to an $80 billion market cap is $60 billion. That's a lot of money that's got to come into Doge. But Pepe, to go from 1 billion, let's just say it's 2 billion like we were saying, to 20 billion is $18 billion. It's a 10x as opposed to a 4x, right? You're getting a 10x with Pepe, only a 4x with Doge, and it takes a fraction of the capital inflow for that to happen. So the numbers are what we're playing here. We're not looking at the actual price. We're not looking at any real fundamentals of why Doge is a better coin than Pepe or why Shiba is a better dog than Pepe is as a meme. That's irrelevant. This is all for the culture. You're picking we're picking a meme, we're picking a culture, we're picking a community that we like. I think all these top ones have legitimate communities behind them, but I'm looking at this raw numbers and saying that Pepe has a lot less inflow to get to a higher multiple than Doge or Shiba does. And we've already seen that when meme coins pump like they have in the last week, you're gonna see all these coins I talk about today, all have pumped a lot. People are paying attention to these coins, they're on the map, but the amount of capital and the market cap that's there is still relatively small compared to where we've seen these meme coins go previously. So I think Pepe is a great bet. It's probably my number one. In fact, it is definitely my number one pick on Ethereum by far. You see Pepe memes everywhere. Start looking for Pepe memes. You're going to find out that they are all over the place at all times. This is a meme that's going to live on, and I have the coin behind it. We love this one as our number one pick. The next one is Bonk. This is another dog coin. You can see I currently have $8,000 worth of Bonk. And in a similar way, this one's around the same market cap. I can make the same exact argument for Bonk as I could for Pepe. We don't need a crazy amount of dollars. It's a lot of money, but not an insane amount. It's not undoable to get to a $20 billion market cap. And at that point, we're looking at more than a 10x for Bonk, right? It's only at 1.5 billion. Now, the one thing with Bonk that's a little different, there's two things actually that are different with Bonk versus Pepe. The first one is that it's already listed on Coinbase. So we do not have that Coinbase pump catalyst. We already have that right here. This is Coinbase listing Bonk. You can see what happens. Obviously, it's going crazy. But now we're having another pump, right? It's revisiting its all-time highs without any listing. It's already listed on Binance. It's already listed on the major exchanges. So, okay. So Bonk is not going to have a catalyst pump. But the good thing is that by being listed on all these exchanges, it is very accessible to anyone. Anyone in the US, anyone worldwide can go easily buy Bonk, and you're not gonna pay those $35 to $50 fees like you would with Pepe to swap it. You can go on Coinbase and pay a 0.5%. Go on Binance and pay a 0.1%, right? You're gonna be paying $5 on these transaction fees as opposed to $50. We're talking 10 times smaller transaction fees, much easier for someone to go ahead and say, all right, I'm gonna throw $100 into it here and there, right? That's one. The second thing is that it's on Solana, okay? So now if we wanna buy Bonk and we don't wanna do an centralized exchange, we can go over to Jupiter, right? We go over to Jupiter, we go to swap, and let's say we want to put, again, we'll do $3,500 to emulate that 1 ETH. We're going to be able to go and swap into Bonk. And you can see right here, we are only losing $3 worth of slippage at the moment. You know, that's the estimate. But the biggest thing here is the price impact, right? The price impact, the transaction fee. Price impact's 0.12, right? Which we said at $3. But the transaction fee is 0.00105 Sol. What does that number look like, right? What does that number look like in dollar amount? 0.0005 Sol, and Sol is currently about $130. That's 6 cents. We're paying 6 cents to transact the same amount of money into Bonk as we did $35 to $50 into Pepe, okay? 6 cents versus $35 to $50. Do you see the difference here? And then we swap it back, same thing. We're gonna be paying 6 cents plus $4. So we're looking at, you know, couple dollars here and there per transaction at a transaction this size. Versus Pepe, where it's a lot more expensive to transact. So for someone who's new or someone who doesn't want to put that much money in, if you're watching this and you only want to throw $100 on a meme coin just to see how it works, you're going to want to pick Bonk, because if you do it on Pepe, you're going to lose almost half of your investment just to the fees alone. So that reason, I think Bonk has got way more potential to really rip, because it's way more accessible to all kinds of investors, way more accessible to all kinds of traders. And it's a lot more feasible to do that with the fees. So we don't have that pump, we don't have that extra Coinbase pump available. And we also should look at the fact that it does not have a full circulating supply yet. There's still 30% of the supply left to be released. So it will get diluted a little bit, meaning that the price will be harder to go up because there is more shares, there are more coins available yet to release to the public, as where Pepe, it's done. All the total supply already exists. There will be no more coins that get put into existence, so the price action is what it is against that fixed supply now. With Bonk, there is more tokens to come out, there is no pump, but the transaction fees and the ease of trading with this significantly easier. It's on Solana, which is already significantly cheaper than Ethereum, and you can buy it on Coinbase or Binance. So if you wanted to buy it on exchange and keep it in your exchange wallet, also easy to do. The ease of use, the ease of access is number one on this coin right now, in my opinion. And I like it for that reason. It's doing the same exact thing Pepe did. First peak, chill out, sideways action for a while. People thought, don't know. You accumulate a bunch in here, which is what I did. Now it's pumping again, but let me tell you right now, I think we have a long way to go still on these coins. And we'll talk at the end of this video exactly what the game plan is if you want to buy one of these coins, what I'm going to be doing to add more to my positions, and how we can try to get a better price than there is right now, because we do not want to buy when it's done literally, these have done 200%, right? 230%, 104% in the last 7 days. That's absurd growth. We don't want to buy it right off the end of that. Okay, third token here is Dog with Hat. I talked about this one in my last video as well. If you guys don't believe me, I've literally talked about all these coins, and since I talked about them, they've all done about a 3 to 5x in literally 45 days. Absurd growth. So if you don't believe me then, you don't believe me now, I'm sorry, you're gonna miss out on the boat. With this one, I feel like this one could actually pass both Bonk and Pepe, right? These two are definitely leading. They have $1.7 billion market cap, $1.5 billion market cap, 2.2 fully diluted. Dog with Hat has a 1.2, but it has absolutely ripped 260% in the last 7 days. It has gone turbo nuclear, absolutely bonkers. And this is again purely a just funny meme. That's it. It's got a good name, with Dog with Hat, easy to remember. This one is already at $1 billion market cap, but somehow I still feel like it could go to $20 billion, along with Bonk and Pepe. I think all three, in theory, could get there. It is a fixed supply. The total supply is already out, and it's at a $1.2 billion market cap. So it's in a similar boat as Pepe. Fully released coins, 1.7, 1.2, close enough. What this one has, a combination of both Bonk and Pepe. It's on Solana, meaning that the trading fees are also very cheap. We go over here, here's Jupiter. We can swap with, right? We want to do $3,500 of USDC into WIF. We're going to lose $5 on slippage. And then again, it's going to be 6 cents in trading fees. Absolutely nothing compared to what Pepe is, right? So it's very cheap to trade. It's on Solana, easy, but boom. What are we missing here? No Binance, no Coinbase, 2 pump catalysts, 2 of the biggest, obvious, known pump catalysts. If WIF gets listed on Binance and Coinbase, you can expect this number is going to pump. It's just going to happen. Like, that's just how this works. When there's a listing, that's bullish. When there's a listing, there's more availability for people to buy in. There's more liquidity. There's more access. You don't have to go to one of these other places that a lot of people have never been to, right? Using Jupiter, I love Jupiter. This is like one of the best sites I've used this whole year. It's great. Highly recommend. It's not even listed on here. And it also uses Radium and, Orca to actually fulfill the transactions. But you can see here, these are all decentralized exchanges, except for some of these smaller centralized ones that aren't popular to use. Like, they're really not, I don't use any of these. I use Kraken, but it's not on Kraken US. It's only Kraken International. So for US folks, you have to go to one of these dexes, which is like Jupiter, which is the one I use, to buy it. And you can do that, but a lot of people that want to throw $100 or don't pay attention to the crypto market aren't going to do that. So the barrier to entry is not there yet. I think this coin could blow past both Bonk and Pepe. It already is catching up massively fast. and it has two clear catalysts left, which is basically the entire centralized exchange access to the coin. This could be the Doge of this cycle. I don't know. I'm really torn because last video I talked about this coin. It was 19 cents. It came out very recently, like a month ago recently. Also happens to be at the moment basically what it launched at. It had a pretty big deep dive down to 7 cents, and then over the last 2 days went like 4x in 2 days. Market cap wise, it's number 232. So we're getting deep down the list now. I'm waiting for it to come back down. I want to see that it has some more legitimacy in terms of money behind it. Literally 6 times cheaper than it is now. It was down here. I talked about it right down here, 19 cents. And I didn't buy any. I told you guys about it and I didn't buy any myself. And I am regretting that massively right now because I just want to load up on WIF. It's become very clear this is not going anywhere. It is the youngest, right? It's only been around since December of last year. It's very young, not even 3 months old. This is a new coin, so you have to worry about that a little bit. You have to see it's got legs. It's got legs. It's got a $1 billion market cap. It's right there with Pepe and Bonk. This could be the dark horse of this entire year or the entire cycle for meme coins. It's got all the marks we want. It's got a fixed supply. It's got cheap transaction fees, and it's not listed on Binance or Coinbase yet. That's all upside in my opinion. It's got the best of both Bonk and Pepe, and it has now what I believe to be the cultural legs to actually make it. So what we're gonna do here is if this coin goes back down, and we'll talk about this at the end of the video, how we're gonna do this. If it goes back down, we are loading the boat on Dog with Hat. This could be the best pick of this whole video. Next coin is one that's not on Ethereum or on Solana. This is Inu, and this one is on Avalanche. Talked about this in my last video as well. Still have not bought any. It has pumped since I talked about it, of course, like every other meme coin has. This one's a significantly smaller play right now. It's number 311. You can see the market cap is only 190 million. This one's somewhere around an eighth of the size of these other coins we just talked about. Much smaller, which means it's gonna be way more volatile day to day. It's gonna go up way higher, it's gonna go down way lower. You gotta be willing to ride it out because this one's way more of a niche play. The only thing I don't like about this one is that it's on AVAX. I think we are still at the point where Solana is just becoming a major chain. Ethereum's obviously a major chain already. AVAX may not have the adoption from mainstream users just yet. And so for that reason, if it doesn't get the adoption we want, then this coin's gonna have a hard time getting new users and getting people to buy it, because if people are not using the AVAX chain, then they're not going to want to buy a meme coin on AVAX. Okay, the last coin is Myro. This is another dog related coin. This one's also on Solana, and it almost has a fully circulating supply. So it's almost at a fixed supply at this point. Very little left, 6% left. So that's not really a big factor. This one does not have a Coinbase or Binance listing yet either. So those are both obvious upsides. Myro is not a debatable meme coin name, so it's possible that Coinbase and Binance would list it. I think Binance will always list these things first. Coinbase is a lot more regulated. It's got a, it's a publicly traded stock in the US market, so they have some more criteria they have to go through. This one's even smaller than Inu. It's 372. It's $138 million market cap. So about 10 times smaller than things like Pepe Bonk or even Dog with Hat. It's much smaller. This one's, again, a super degen play, high risk, extremely high risk. It does have those upside potentials. If it gets big enough to the point where Coinbase or Binance would want to list it, that will pump it, and the pump on those will probably be a lot bigger because it's such a small market cap still, right? $138 million sounds like a lot, but in crypto, it's 372 ranked coin. It's low. It's a small coin. I do love that it's on Solana. I think Solana is the choice network this cycle, especially for trading and for meme coins. I think there's no better place. It's easy to use. They have great decentralized exchanges. The fees are very cheap. I think it's perfect for trading meme coins, like absolutely perfect. So Myro being on Solana is definitely good. This one again, though, a huge degen risk with a coin this small. So definitely buy and sell at your own risk on this one. Okay, so we talked about all these coins, but as you noticed, all of them are through the roof right now. Like the last 7 days, between 100 and 300% gains. We do not want to buy these coins right now. Again, none of this is financial advice, but this is what I'm going to do. This is my plan for buying more and how I'm going to go about it. The first thing we want to do is look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. You can see right here that historically, when Bitcoin gets into this, green and even blue territory, extreme greed, we tend to have huge pullbacks. You can see these giant peaks and valleys in here. They don't look huge on this chart, but let me tell you, these are like 30, 40% pullbacks. We have been up only recently on Bitcoin. A lot of green. We even peaked very small right here into the blue. And I'll show you here a little bit easier chart to see. We are in extreme greed right now. Extreme greed, okay? Green all the way up here. See what happens when we get extreme greed? That looks like a top. I don't think Bitcoin's topping right now, but I do think we have run so hot. I mean, we are vertical, right? Every time we go up huge, you have to have a pullback, have to have a pullback, have to have multiple pullbacks. There's no way to keep going up this crazy forever. Now, it could last a while longer. We could see ourselves go to 65K, 70K, 80K, 85K, all within a couple of weeks or months. That's totally on the table. But I think more likely than not, what's going to happen here is Bitcoin's going to pull back maybe 10, 15, 20%. And what happens when Bitcoin pulls back like that is that all of these type of coins, these meme coins, see double or triple the pullback. So if we get a 10% pullback on Bitcoin, we could see these coins pull back 20 to 30%. And that's the point where we want to buy. Okay, so here's some examples, right? If we go all the way up on Bonk, we want to wait. We don't want to buy it up here because we don't know what's going to happen. It could keep going further, but most likely it's going to come back at some point. Look how many times it came back. It came all the way back down to where it was before that massive pump. Again, huge pump, comes back down to about where it was before the pump. Then there's some smaller pumps, and you're not going to time this perfectly, but the point is here, if we see this thing keep running, fine, so be it. We will wait it out. But I would like to see us come back at least that first pullback where we see a 10 to 20 to 30% pullback. And these are much bigger pullbacks, right? These are up to 50% sometimes, even more. Anytime we start to see a 20% pullback, that's where I'm going to start adding to my position. So if we get 10%, we got to be aware. If we see 20%, buy some. We see 25%, buy more. See minus 30%, buy even more. Keep stacking as we go down, so that way we can get it all the way down. Even if we don't nail the bottom perfectly, we're at least buying lower than this peak right here. Now, there is always the chance that this thing just keeps running and we completely miss the boat and we never get in. That's a risk we're gonna have to take. If you're watching this video and you screwed up like me and didn't buy at 19 cents, well, we've already missed that boat. It's too late. We kind of have to swallow it and move on. But I do think Dog with Hat coming back down to like $1 or so and testing that dollar mark is very likely to happen at some point in the next couple weeks or months. It might take a while. It might go up to $1.50 from here and then come all the way back down, 30% drop to $1 again. And we have to be patient enough to wait for that moment. Now, if we wait and it never comes, that's something we're gonna have to be okay with as well. In meme coins, more often than not, it makes a lot of sense to just ape in and just buy in wherever you can, as long as you're not at the absolute pico top, which is hard to tell. There's not a lot of fundamentals here or not a lot of reasoning why things might pull back, but if Bitcoin comes back to earth, which I do believe at some point it's got to cool down a little bit, these coins will bleed out as well, and that's the moment we want to buy in. So personally, like I said, Dog with Hat, I'm looking to buy in as soon as it starts to hit $1.06 and lower. That's where I'm starting to buy in. Bonk, these are a little more difficult because there's so many freaking zeros, but 4 zeros, and then when it's under 20, right? So it's at 2.3 right now, 2.381. When it's under 20, that's where I want to buy. That's roughly a 15% drop, somewhere around that point. So 20 and under is where we want to buy. If it gets down to 15, we want to buy a lot because that's going to be roughly a 30 to 40% drop. Pepe, same thing. There's 5 zeros on this one, so it's very difficult to figure out. But this one, I'd like to see where it did this little hesitation right here, where it came back down to 30. So we're at 42 right now. I want to see it come down to 30. That's roughly, again, a 20, 25% drop, somewhere in that ballpark. So anywhere between 15 and 30% on any of these is where I'm going to start to look to pick up more. Now, those may end up being really bad places to buy. We won't know until it all pans out. But I'm willing to take that chance. Again, it's not financial advice. This is my own risk I'm taking. You should do whatever you feel comfortable with. Take risks that you feel okay with. I'm just a dude on the internet talking about meme coins, trying to make sense of it all. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. If you want to see more like this, make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't watched this video yet, I definitely think you should. So click on it before we're gone.